Hey, what up, peeps? Get ready for episode 7. There's some shit to talk about. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Thanks for listening. Yeah, so I'm about to head in for my tax return. And I was having a conversation with somebody at work. They were like, you haven't done it yet? You're missing out on a shitload of unclaimed money. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm probably only going to get back $1,000 like I do every other year. You know, $1,000's fine. Not shitting on $1,000, but they're like, no, this year's different. The government is treating us to a couple of grand. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? They're treating us to a couple of grand. The government's never that nice. They're like, oh, no, this year apparently there's some sort of boost, some sort of package, or I don't fucking know what they were on about. Then they said, yeah, the government's treating you to some more money on your tax return. And I just hear it, the way he said it, like the government's treating me to money. Don't you mean the government's just giving me back more of the money that they took from me during the financial year? That makes more logical sense to me. Anyway, so I'll head in and let's see if that fucking government package will look after me for the Christmas holidays. I doubt it. I mean, every year I've heard people come into work and be like, oh, I got 12 grand back this year. Who the fuck are you going to get your tax return? $12,000 and you work the same job as me? Can't the government, investigate you if you end up with too much money? I've just heard that before. I've always done it the honest way because I don't want to get fucked by the government. We already get fucked enough. Imagine that. Imagine you get back a huge tax return and you're just scared looking through the fucking blinds, at your house, at any moment the government's going to come and pick up their money because the tax person gave you too much money back and now you're going to get fucking audited or whatever it is. Screw that shit, man. I mean, look, I'd love 12 grand, you and me both. But I think we also both know that 12 grand just doesn't come for free. There's a catch. Especially if you get it back on your tax return. You're like, excuse me, can you please double check? I just don't want to be breaking any fucking laws. But yeah, no, somebody recommended me a tax person from a town that I hadn't heard of, an hour away at my job, and they were like, he does wonderful work, and for a fraction of the cost of a HR tax person, he'll get you back at least $10,000. I'm like, surely that is not legal. Surely there are corners being cut at some point, and whose dick's going to get chopped off? Mine. Not the fucking tax dude. He'll just pack up his shit, leave, change the name of his business, whatever he has to do. I'm the one left there with, oh fuck yeah, free $10,000. Not free, by the way. Government shafts you 27% of your fucking income. So, nothing comes for free. But it does seem like a little Christmas before Christmas when you get a nice payout. And most of that money will be going towards doing absolutely fuck all for my 3-week Christmas holidays. I have plans, and my plans involve having no plans whatsoever. I love it. Part of my job, not at my last job, but part of the job that I currently have is at the end of the year, the factory closes down. Yippee. And we get a lovely 3 weeks off. That's almost enough time for me to forget that I work at that fucking place before January rolls around and I am back in the shit. And that last week of the holidays, it's a psychological thing. I sit there and I count down the days till I'm back at work. I torture myself with it like a fucking dickhead. Instead of sitting and enjoying the holidays that I have, the limited 3 weeks per year holidays that I have, I sit for the last week of the holidays and get depressed that I have to go back to work instead of enjoying the last 7 days of my fucking holidays. Such a dickhead. I do it all the time. I actually do it every night. I have work anxiety. I wake up in the middle of the night for a piss. I'm like listening for the birds outside, because the birds always spell me waking up soon. So if I can't hear any birds chirping, I'm in the fucking clear. I'm going straight back to bed. I'm comfy, I'm warm, I'm happy. I got another hour or two at least. Don't you love those nights where you wake up and you think it's so late, dude, and you check your phone and it's like 11 o'clock at night and you're just like, oh. I think those are some of the best feelings that you will feel. Just those like tucking back into bed, knowing that you just got a whole night of sleep ahead of you. You thought you were convinced when you woke up that, oh fuck, oh shit, it's late as fuck. Boom, 11 p.m. So damn good. I always love that feeling. Yeah, so hopefully this tax return nets me a little bit of fucking money. I got a car to fix. I got a body to fatten up for the holidays. I got DLCs to buy. I'm gonna buy a fucking Diablo 4's DLC and we'll see what this shit's all about. I was so excited for the Vessel of Hatred when it got announced. I was excited for the new class. I was so keen, dude. I was so keen for anything Diablo 4. I played the Rogue like 3 seasons in a row just because I was trying to roll some good loot to take back to my Eternal character. And I unfortunately burnt myself out. I tried the Barbarian. I spent a lot of money on like cosmetics to make the Barbarian look awesome. And then I just got to like level 34 and literally bailed on the whole season. Just because I'm so used to the ranged combat. I have a level 100 sorcerer that I really enjoyed, like a crackling energy electricity build. That was just fucking awesome. That was so damn cool, just hanging out at the feet of world bosses and taking them out in seconds. Fun as fuck. But I've always enjoyed the Rogue a lot better, just in terms of like versatility and how quick you can get the Rogue so fast. You can get the Rogue up to insane fucking speeds. It looks ridiculous. You know, the little running animation that your character does is just sped up like 3 times. You just run so damn quick. And it's really like, it is really a shortcoming though. Like, I spent a lot of time on one character getting them as quick as I could, and it's ridiculous, but at the same time you're shortchanging your character, you're shortchanging a lot of other skills that you could be favouring to be boosting, say, damage or other things. It's not all about the speed. You know, obviously barbarians know a lot about that, being the slowest, trudgiest fuck. Actually, that's probably druids. Druids are pretty fucking trudgy. All the druids I see are running with a bit of weight to them. But yeah, no, I enjoy Diablo 4. I do enjoy the game loop. I just accidentally burnt myself out. I didn't mean to. I thought Diablo 4 was going to be the one game that I just always have installed on my Xbox. The one game I can always just go back to and play whenever I want. But no, I needed to give one season a break. I did begin the Infernal Horde season strong. I started a rogue, you know, for a change. I started a rogue again, and I got to like level 70, and I thought, alright, cool, it's not far now, probably 10 more hours, I'll be riding that level 100, that max level, go and do some nightmare dungeons and get my shit up. But no, I just put down the controller, like it was just like an animalistic thing. I just put the controller down, I was like, I am now finished with this. I'm bored. Which since the game's release, I hadn't said such things. I thought it was just absolute, you know, sacrilege to say that you're bored of Diablo 4. How dare you be bored of Diablo 4? You know? But I got fucking bored of it, man. I did play it a lot by myself. Me and the missus play it quite a bit, but I was playing it a lot by myself, just doing hell tides and trying to get my character's level up. And the game loop at one point started to get a little bit stale, you know? And it's not because I played the rogue 3 or 4 times in a row. That had nothing to do with it, because if I was bored with the rogue, I would have stopped it the second time. No, I really enjoy the rogue. I was trying to get better armor pieces for him, but then I kept falling. The third rogue that I made, I fell into the same habit that I did with the second rogue, which was like, it was a shadow build. Try to take some tips and tricks from YouTubers, and it just didn't work for me. I kept falling back into the ranged only. I had the swords on my character just for the cosmetic purposes only, just for vanity, so I look cool. But yeah, look, doing huge damage numbers, not having much trouble with any bosses. And then, yeah, I really wanted to try a druid, didn't get around to it. Would love to try this new Spiritborn or Spirit Cult, whatever the fuck he is. The trailer makes him look pretty awesome. He looks quick. He's got like the rogue speed about him. Lots of cool effects. It was like he has a staff, but he like uses magic as well. So I would like to get that character to max level. But I guess at the same time, as soon as Vessel of Hatred comes out, I guess everyone's going to be having the exact same idea as me. So it's just going to be a million Spiritborns running around, which is not an issue. They're a good character, then, you know, the more the merrier. Be cool to check out the new region, see what Blizzard has done differently compared to the normal map, Sanctuary. I don't really, because it's a top-down game, I guess it's sort of hard to give variation to different parts of the map. Obviously, you know when it's a snow area, you know when it's a desert area, and vice versa, but to immerse you in different zones, I guess the music was the biggest pointer to me, that I was in, like, you know, the region, like around Kel'Thuzad, or like the Kedbadu, or whatever it's called. The music would change for the different areas, and I really got hooked on the soundtrack. I really enjoy the soundtrack, especially there's a place that you can portal over to called like Girandai. And the song in that little town, that little outpost, whatever you'd like to call it, is the best weed smoking music ever. I'd love to punch cones just sitting there, you know, while there's a Helltide counting down in the top corner, and I've just completely lost track of time listening to this fucking awesome song that loops. So sexy. Get stoned as fuck, run out into the Helltide, slaughter fucking thousands of demons, level the fuck up, spend me embers or cinders, and then go and compare, sell, temper, upgrade, do all my shit with my loot. Fun as fuck game loop. Awesome if you've got more than one person to play with. And just an all around good time. And you won't get bored of it for quite a while. But when you do get bored of it, it hits you like a ton of bricks. It's not a creeping boredom. It is literally, I'm done. You just stop, like I did. And I thought, I'm like the number one fan of Diablo. I played Diablo 3. I thought it was good. A lot of, I didn't think it was too bad, but a lot of the fans of Diablo 3 didn't enjoy Diablo 4, and I was just like, you motherfuckers don't want an open world Diablo? Like, what's wrong with yous? They like the open area instance-based Diablo game. Like, okay, each to their own. I personally prefer an open world over anything else, just because of the things that the developers can hide in an open world, the variability of environments, the views, climbing mountains. I'm talking more an orthodox RPG, an RPG that isn't top-down, more so like a... And I hate to say Skyrim, because when I was younger, I played Morrowind, and I played Morrowind a lot. And then I eventually, you know, graduated to Oblivion when I could afford an Xbox 360, or my parents, you know, could afford it. But I got bullied relentlessly in school over playing Morrowind, and I never understood it. I was just playing a fucking RPG, but it was apparently some nerdy, fucking geeky ass game. I never ever understood. I was like, this game is fucking sick. I don't know what is wrong with you cunts. So, I got relentlessly bullied over Morrowind. And then Oblivion comes out. And a couple of the people that would bully me over Morrowind were now playing Oblivion because their older brothers were playing it and they thought it was cool. So I saw this cultural shift, but nothing could prepare me for the next Elder Scrolls game that would come out many, many years later. Those people that bullied the living fuck out of me in school for playing the Elder Scrolls 3 are now posting pictures of their copies of Skyrim on day one. They're telling their fucking mates on the newsfeed on Facebook where to find cool armor and cool weapons. I was utterly dumbfounded at these fucking basic bitch morons that put me through the ringer for playing a smart RPG, an RPG that had freedom of expression. You could make spells, create spells. There was no hand holding whatsoever. The game required you to read everything, and in order to establish any sort of context in the world, you had to study. You had to study Morrowind to understand it. And it was an incredible experience that got shat on, and now these fucking idiots are playing a dumbed down, watered down, completely just... Look, don't get me wrong, I love Skyrim. Skyrim has a special place in my heart. The soundtrack is beautiful. The locations are beautiful. But the game is severely flawed, and anyone who hasn't played the Elder Scrolls before Skyrim doesn't understand what I mean. It went from Oblivion, which in my opinion is the best Elder Scrolls game to date. Oblivion is the GOAT. Oblivion takes the cake all day, every day. Setting, soundtrack, character design's a little bit dated these days, but it's still fine. Just if you think your character's ugly, chuck a helmet on them, or don't look at them. You're looking at the back of their head fucking 90% of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oblivion was the game that set the standard for me for RPGs to come. Every time the new RPG came out, I always compared it to Oblivion. Whenever I played games, other than Bethesda Game Studios games that were RPGs or trying to do something similar to Oblivion, they always got compared to Oblivion in almost an annoying fashion. But I was a super fan of Oblivion. I fell asleep, with Oblivion on. Just me, my character, standing in the Imperial City, just listening to the soundtrack and hearing the people walk past and conversate. And it was so immersive to me, and it held my hand through a lot of lonely times in life. Gaming in general did, but Oblivion more so. And Morrowind before that. So to see these fucking mongoloids enjoying Skyrim and like chatting amongst themselves about how good Skyrim is, I felt dogged. I felt ripped off. Because years before, I was enjoying the Elder Scrolls and getting just targeted for abuse from it. And it always perplexed me. I had never had any idea as to why I was being bullied over a fucking video game. And it wasn't girls that were bullying me. One girl did call me a faggot for playing Guitar Hero once, which was like just an out of nowhere call. I was like, I'm going to go home tonight and play some Guitar Hero. And then this girl, with a worried face, almost like she didn't want to say it. It was like her mind held a gun to her own head. She was like, faggot, with this like worried expression. I was like, all right, where'd that come from? But yeah, so I've been called a faggot for playing video games, but I think that every bloke at some point in his life has been called a faggot at least once for playing video games. Not that you are, and everyone plays video games now because we're all inclusive, but if you are as old as me, 31, you will remember a time in life where gaming was a predominantly male thing. It honestly was. All my mates had come over when I was little. We'd play N64, GoldenEye, Odd Job Not Allowed, too small, too hard to hit. The guns didn't lock onto his head properly. So you could play every other character. In GoldenEye, we would have smacking only, golden gun rounds, proximity mine rounds. We used to play Conker's Bad Fur Day, multiplayer, squirrels versus teddies. So damn fun. So many good games as kids. But they never really there was never really a female element to those games. And I guess also when it's a room full of boys playing split screen, when you're young, you're not thinking about the female element. You're having so much fun playing these revolutionary games. That shit didn't really come into play. Well, not for me and my mates when I was little. We fucking never thought about girls. We were too busy thinking of watching heads explode. The old fucking budget game engine N64 heads exploding. Because Conker's Bad Fur Day was the most fucking violent and visceral game that I think the N64 ever had. And it was masked as a children's game. It looked cute. It was cutesy. Whenever Mum walked past the room, it was just a little squirrel doing a tailspin through the air. She was like, lovely. You enjoy that game. And then as soon as she walks, out of the room, like fucking character pulls a frying pan out and smacks something. Or, explodes something. There was so many context-sensitive missions in that game where the light bulb would appear on your head and you'd do something hilarious and either kill another character or... It took me forever to figure out Conker's Bad Fur Day because it obviously wasn't a children's game. I didn't understand, and I think I just white-knuckled my way through 50% of Conker's Bad Fur Day before I understood, okay, right, this is what I got to do. It took me a really long time to get anywhere in that game, but when you did, it was awesome. I didn't understand any of the movie references in Conker's Bad Fur Day. There's so many movie references that are a nod to many, many 90s movies, even before that. You've got Van Helsing, Saving Private Ryan. There's many others. My brain's blanking at the moment. But Conker's Bad Fur Day was revolutionary. There was never a game like it. Like, a game never came out after it that was similar to it, except Conker's Live and Reloaded, which was like the remaster on the original Xbox, which I also got. But they removed the OG Squirrels versus Teddies and replaced it with sort of like this Terminator-style multiplayer, which was enjoyable. And if you finished the main storyline of Conker's Bad Fur Day, you could enable Potty Mouth. And that was always fun, especially when I was growing up, getting a little bit older. I still wasn't a teenager yet, I don't think, when I was playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, but it was so fun to turn the TV up when you got Mum and Dad home and you headshot a Teddy and he's like, "Take that, you motherfucker!" And just having that blaring out of my TV. I thought, if I can't swear, my TV can still swear. And I didn't get away with that for very long. We just don't see... Anyway, back to the Elder Scrolls situation that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, so it's just all these people are singing the praises of Skyrim, and I loved Skyrim. I played it for a really long time. I put a lot of hours into it. I think multiple characters as well. Then later on, when I got my Alienware laptop, I went and bought it again for PC and experienced the whole modding scene and all the shit that you could do with Skyrim. You could just mod it to absolute fuckery, which was awesome. But it did take away from the experience of the game because you're not really immersing yourself anymore in the game. You're always comparing frame rates and how much does this affect my system, and does this texture pack work properly, and does this grass look good with this, and does this water pack look good? And it was just, I had way more immersion when I played it on my Xbox 360 than I did on PC because I was just hyper fixated on mods. I just became deep into the mods and trying to get the best quality Skyrim that I could get, and it just took away from the game because I never clocked it on PC. I don't even think I got halfway through the game on PC. I was just too busy spawning in, creating my character, and then running around the early areas of the game looking at the graphics. I was just admiring the graphics. But I have found myself going back to Oblivion multiple times. On my new console, on my Series X, I've played Oblivion. I've installed it and uninstalled it 2 separate times. I've had the console for 4 years. I played through a decent chunk of the game. Oblivion is still fucking awesome. It holds up. She's a little dated now, but if you played it when you were younger, it looks the way it looked when you were younger. It hasn't lost its charm. As soon as that soundtrack kicks in, the nostalgia just starts hitting you. It's beautiful. But I pity the people that started on Skyrim. Like, those poor motherfuckers. They really did get the short end of the stick. They got that, we're just adaptable now. Pick up a weapon, start using it. You just start learning it. There was no pre-chosen class. There's no birth sign. There's none of that shit. Create your character. Dragon shows up. You know how many fucking times I spent creating characters in Helgen? Helgen was just the bane of my existence. I think I installed a mod that skips the first part of the game because I was just over the, you're finally awake. And that's like 5 minutes or little over 5 minutes in itself, just sitting on a fucking horse and cart listening to fucking Ulfric Stormcloak flap his fucking lips. So, Skyrim, man. They didn't have to release it re-release it a million times. It's awesome, and it's a lot of people's favorite games of all time, so I'm not going to shit on Skyrim in that way. It's a great game. It holds up. It's awesome. In my opinion, the engine sucks. I don't like the engine. It's the same engine that Fallout 4's on. It's the same engine that fucking Fallout 3's on. It's the same engine every time. Bethesda never changed their fucking engine. The animations are stupid. In Skyrim, you get locked into animations all the time. I never played the game like a traditional RPG. I never held a shield or blocked. I think the smart Skyrim players, we always just defaulted to sneak bow. You just sneak around and hit shit with a bow because there's like a huge damage multiplier if you hit shit while you're sneaking. So everyone just defaults to crouching around, hitting shit hard, and that's just how you play the game. And that has enough value for like a one full playthrough. You can play Dawnguard and Dragonborn, get a little bit more out of your character in your playtime. But after that, it really just boils down to what else are you missing on the map? Do you want to go collect anything else? Is there anything else to do? Usually there is, but is it worth your time? And I found the Skyrim I fizzled out. There was a glitch. There was a hefty glitch at the very beginning of Skyrim's release, called the Ogma Infinium glitch, where there was a particular bookshelf in a house in Whiterun, I think, where you could like place this book in the bookshelf and it would like duplicate there was a trick to it, but the book would duplicate itself and you could essentially just skill up everything really early in the game. And being as young as I was when Skyrim came out, of course I was going to do it. It was a no-brainer. I was like, I'm going to give it at least a go. And then you find out that the max level of a character in Skyrim can only ever get to level 81.5, which is weird. That's a weird place to stop. 81.5. Anyway. So then you go and craft your Daedric armor. There was also that. You could craft a million fucking daggers at the blacksmithing, get really good at blacksmithing, and then get your hands on the Daedric armor early. And so people just broke, and that was on console. We were just breaking the game early, and it was very easy to do. Children could do it. It was an easy glitch, and everyone was doing it. You go everyone's house you'd go to back in the day. Everyone had Daedric greatsword, Daedric armor, and they're level 81.5. And you're like, oh yeah, did you do that legit? Stupid question, rhetorical. Because I don't think I met anyone who raw dogged Skyrim all the way through without doing some sort of exploitation, because there were so many of them, you know. Oblivion, I can't remember one glitch in Oblivion that broke the game or that progressed you further than you earned. I do remember one in Morrowind, which I couldn't help myself when I was little. You would bring up the command prompt and type enable level up menu, and it would just bring you to the level up menu. You just keep doing it over and over and over again. And I got really good at typing enable level up menu. I got super quick at it. And I just, I think I'm trying to say I can't be trusted with a command prompt or a skill glitch, because I'm only human and I will take advantage of it. So you just give me a good old console game and make sure it's not, I'm not going to go looking for a skill glitch, but if it's obvious, I might fucking check it out. Who knows? So yeah, Skyrim is fine. It's not the best. Very flawed. I don't give a fuck if you have a counter argument to it. Skyrim is a flawed game. It got re-released way too many times. It's too overplayed. And it is still Bethesda's newest Elder Scrolls if you take ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, out of the equation, which is not a real Elder Scrolls. It is an Elder Scrolls. It is canon to the universe of the Elder Scrolls, but Elder Scrolls games are a single-player experience, a single-player open-world RPG experience. ESO is an MMO set in the universe of Tamriel and everywhere else. There's so many other there's a million DLCs for ESO now. I stopped playing in like 2015. It was a great game while I played it. It was enjoyable. There was a really big focus on motifs when I was playing. I don't know if that's the same now, but everyone was trading motifs, and it was big. If you could smith certain items and certain armor pieces, people were paying top dollar for it back in the day. Or if you just sold them the motif, people were constantly hanging out in the town square, spamming their microphones, asking to buy different motifs and stuff like that. It was a cool game. It was grindy. I played with 2 other people. I didn't like the PvP. I thought the PvP was fucking shit. They tried. It was pretty awesome too. I mean, like, in terms of population, it's pretty crazy what they were able to do on the Xbox One with the Elder Scrolls Online. So that was a cool achievement. But again, not an Elder Scrolls traditional game. So Skyrim is still technically their newest Elder Scrolls game, which came out in 2011. Who knows when we're going to see the next Elder Scrolls game? It seems as if game companies at the moment are having a tough time putting out anything good. Have you noticed that too? Like, I've already covered the Ubisoft drama and what's going on over there, which seems just ridiculous. You know, how many games in, and they're still having these hiccups in the road. It's like, you guys have made that many Assassin's Creed games. It should be second nature now. You should just be able to make it. If it was set in feudal Japan, you should have made a fake character and not listened to the Japanese people. Just fuck them. Don't listen to them. You didn't listen to the Egyptians when you made Assassin's Creed Origin. You didn't listen to the Iraqis when you made Mirage. You probably didn't listen to the Greeks when you made Odyssey. You just went ahead and made the game. You should have done the exact same thing for Shadows. And if the Japanese people have an issue with it, they just won't play it. You know, simple as that. But you had to go and fuck with a timeline, a character that actually existed in their timeline. So I can understand why they're pissed off. I feel like it has no merit though, and it holds no fucking water, because it's like, you can whinge about a game all you like. It is a fantasy land. You know, what the fuck are you sooking about? It is set in a fantasy realm where anything can happen. That's why games were made in the first place. It was an escape away from your everyday reality into a place that is make-believe. It's fantasy. Anything can happen. And now we're applying these like real-life things to games. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. Most of the people that are arguing these points don't play games. And you know what I am really worried about? And this is something that can't happen. And if it happens, it's gonna make a big impact on my life. Now, there's one thing that is going to save us gamers, and that is GTA 6. It will be a cultural revolution. It will change it'll change gamescapes. GTA 6 is going to be the biggest thing ever. And I was trying to explain this to my brother the other day. He's like, yeah, it looks, the trailer makes it look similar to Red Dead. It's just on the Red Dead 2 engine. No, for starters. Yes, there are some character models that look similar to Red Dead, but it is Rockstar's magnum opus. GTA 6 has to be, and I will not take anything else. It has to be the best thing ever. The greatest game ever made. GTA 6 has to live up to all the hype. It has to. I mean, the launches of every Grand Theft Auto are genuinely pretty fucking big, but this is, at the time that it's coming out and in the current state of the world that we live in, I'm so excited to see what Rockstar has been cooking. Are they going to go all out, just a complete and utter parody of our reality that we live in, which is so wacky and bizarre, and just, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow? I mean, our lives are really unpredictable. Who knows what's going to show up in the news tomorrow? Who knows what country is going to attack, another country tomorrow? Who knows what, is going to happen in politics or in fucking just general fucking world shit? If there's going to be a storm, a riot, nobody knows. So hopefully GTA 6 really encompasses the chaos that we all live in and just makes an utter fucking joke out of it, and then at the same time allows you to run over people and blow people's heads off with shotguns and drive boats and fly helicopters and play awesome multiplayer and just all the awesome shit that Rockstar is known for. And GTA 6 will be one of those, comfort games that will stay out for fucking years and years and years, just like GTA 5. I still see advertisements on my Instagram for new things that are coming to GTA 5 all these years later. I tried to get back into GTA 5. I can't do it. My character is so under-equipped. It's too far into the game's life. There are people that have so much shit. It's just too fucking late to get into the game now. So when GTA 6 comes out, you can fucking bet your bottom dollar I'll be playing the shit out of that, especially if it is the greatest game of all time, which I've got my fingers crossed for it to be. Stalker 2 is stacking up to be quite the game as well. I think it's going to take a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people that haven't had an introduction into the Stalker series are going to be quite surprised. I think they might not like it at first, but then they'll realise the sort of, where the game's going and how the game works mechanically. And really fall into the game loop of Stalker. I played the original Stalkers on PC back in the day, so I sort of know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm very excited for that. And then GTA 6 is really the only other game that I'm looking forward to playing. I mean, Assassin's Creed Shadows, when it comes out, I'll download it and give it a crack. But I really haven't got high expectations for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Well, at the moment anyway, they're really going to have to pull some crazy shit out of their ass to shock me now. Just based off the information that we've been given by Ubisoft, it just seems like a jumbled, confused, and I don't even think it's going to have any of the biblical mysteries stuff in it, because the Japanese people are so uptight with their intellectual property. It's like, why don't you just let us make a fantasy game out of your country, please? Every other country hasn't seemed to have given a fuck about it. Yes, Ubisoft is doing something weird by putting a real person in the game, but just deal with it. Stop sooking. Enough's enough. If you want to play a really good Japanese, feudal Japan, inspired game, go and play Ghosts of Tsushima on the PlayStation, and let us have our little Coles brand Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadows. Alright, because this game is clearly cut out for a certain demographic. Cough, cough, me. I enjoy these games. So, fuck off. And hopefully hopefully it's good. Because if it isn't, who knows when we'll see another Assassin's Creed. So, yeah, I mean, I started this podcast off talking about fucking Skyrim, Morrowind, and how I used to get bullied for playing it, and then the bullies went on to play Skyrim themselves, which I thought was just incredibly shitty. But at the same time, karma sort of bit them in the ass, because they jumped on when the Elder Scrolls was on its downward slope, which is funny. They didn't get to enjoy the freedom and the expression that the earlier Elder Scrolls games had, and the personality and charm that Oblivion had. They just jumped into a game that is very pretty, soundtrack's very lovely, but the soul and the core of Skyrim is missing. And every time I play it, I feel that the personality, the Elder Scrolls personality is there, but lacking. It's like my favourite game of all time, next to Oblivion, is Fallout 3. People usually ask me, why Fallout 3 or not New Vegas? New Vegas is a wonderful game, don't get me wrong, but it's Obsidian, and they're very story focused and like decision based, and every decision you make has an impact. And look, I enjoy that in short bursts, but I really do enjoy I just like Fallout 3. I love it. I always have. The first time I played it, it traumatized me for some reason, because it is a dark game and it takes a little while to get used to. But when you get into that universe, it's very, very hard to get out. So both my favorite games on Earth of all time are both Bethesda games. But I never even bothered with Starfield. I played Fallout 4. I played one playthrough of Fallout 4. I was so excited when Todd Howard came out with the It Just Works trailer. Everything just works. Just works. Me and my brother sat glued to the screen, just drip like Homer Simpson gargling over Fallout 4. And when it came out, the frame rate was fucked. The weapons disappear inside your body. Even Fallout 3 got that right. When you put your weapon away, it just goes on your back. They made a new a new power armor system where you actually climb inside this giant hulking machine that runs on fucking fusion cores. It's cool. It's cool for 5 minutes, and then you're like, that's so gimmicky. Goddamn, I can't just take my power armor off and start running around like a human. Then when there's a Deathclaw or something massive on the horizon, whack my power armor on, Fallout 3 style. Or just, it didn't really, in Fallout 3, you never really took your power armor off because it wasn't hefty. It was just an extension of you. And you could put your power armor in your inventory if you didn't want to wear it. So they changed up a lot of things in Fallout 4. Some quality of life improvements, and other ones just utter hindrances. Like, where do your weapons go? It's Fallout 4. Really? You stick your fucking rifle in your arsehole when you're not using it? Like, what a load of shit, dude. They changed up so many other things. Look, Fallout 4 was great. It had great elements, just like Skyrim, but it's got Skyrim syndrome, where it's like everyone who'd played Fallout 4 and didn't play the prior ones really showed up late to the party and didn't get to see when Bethesda was at its peak and just non-stop bangers. All those games got Game of the Year. Morrowind Game of the Year, Oblivion Game of the Year, Fallout 3 Game of the Year. They got Game of the Year constantly. Bethesda back in the day couldn't miss. And now Bethesda, as well as many other fucking game companies, are just kind of eating it. The new Shattered Space DLC for Starfield, I watched somebody review it. They said it was shit. And a pretty credible person as well. I'm not just saying some rando said it was shit. No, somebody I watch who I consider very credible, especially in the Bethesda universe, said it was fucking shit. And that's a massive letdown. Especially to anyone who's sort of holding out hope that the new Elder Scrolls is gonna do well. I'm one of those people. I'm hoping they go back to a little bit more of the freedom of expression, sort of multiple choice, choose a class at the beginning, sort of. When I go into an RPG, I sort of know what I'm going to be and who I'm going to be. If you're a person who's getting into RPGs for the first time, maybe you do want to experiment before you make a commitment. But a seasoned RPG player like myself and fucking many others, we sort of know what class is comfortable and roll with that with most games. I used to be an archer in game, like rogue. I loved playing the sort of like sneaky double daggers, assassin style, Dragon's Dogma, I played that. Dragon Age, I played that. But then, the older I get, I want to have a bit more punch to my hits. I want to be able to tank a little more damage before I get taken down. And now I'm just archer. I just love standing back, hitting shit from a distance, keeping my distance, getting vantage points, sort of calling the shots. Dragon's Dogma 2 is perfect, completely catered to my desire to just be somebody who stands back, observes the action, and every now and then sends a penetrating shot straight to the eyeball of a, giant. It's just fun. Dragon's Dogma 2 is it's pretty raw, they sort of throw you out in the shit of it. And it's an old school RPG feel, man. So if you're looking for that, if you're looking to scratch the old school RPG itch, I do recommend Dragon's Dogma 2, but read up on it before you get the game. It does have some catches to it. Not bad ones, just you got to commit. When you're playing Dragon's Dogma 2, you got to commit. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I didn't really know what this podcast episode was going to be about. I just sort of did start ranting about games because, games are fucking fun. And I guess a side note, fuck you to the cunts that bullied me for playing Morrowind. I bet you'd be playing the next fucking Elder Scrolls, you dogs. Thanks for putting me through the fucking ringer in school when I was way ahead of my time. It probably made you fucking jealous, and that's why you did it. Or not. At least let me compartmentalise why they were bullying me. At least. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. It's a little longer than I expected it to be. But if you made it this far, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next episode.